Hello fellow human, hope you guys have an amazing day and let's read some more I don't work here lady stories. To the first one. I work here, but I don't work here. Crazy Karen accuses me of hitting her with tea. Cast, me, Karen, K, Supervisor, S, Sandwich Shop Employee, SE. So it happened. I finally met my first Karen after 19 years. I've met many people with a Karen haircut, but they have all been nice. Well, not this time. So I work at a well-known corner shop in the UK. We also happen to have a well-known sandwich shop as a part of our shop. Now, they have a fancy coffee machine that makes lattes and all the fancy coffee, so we all tend to use that to get the tea or coffee. Sometimes they will offer to make one for us. In the morning, there's usually only one person on making sandwiches and we always have two. One supervisor and one sales assistant. Well, this morning, I was behind their counter making myself a cup of tea because I hate coffee and I only know how to make tea on the machine. The shop employee was out in the warehouse sorting their delivery when Karen came in and caught me. I have my back to her minding my own business. Now bear in mind that our uniforms are completely different. Ours is black with our company name. There's green with a hat with their company name on the front of their shirt in huge letters. Karen. Excuse me. Me. Turns around and smiles. Oh yes, hello. I'll be over in just a sec. I assume she was a customer from my side. Karen. Make me a latte and a cappuccino to go. Me. Oh, sorry, I'm afraid I cannot do that. I don't work here. Karen. But you're using the machine and are behind the counter, so you can just make me my drinks. Me. Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't know how to make the drinks you want, and I don't work for the sandwich shop. I work for the corner shop. Look at my uniform that said so. I point to the company logo on my shirt. Karen. I don't care. You're behind the counter, so you can make me my drinks. Me. Getting fed up. I'm tired, and it's too early to be dealing with this. I was just making myself a cup of tea. If you give me a second, I can buzz up this shop employee so she can make your drinks. Karen. No, you are behind the counter. Don't lie to me. I saw you use the machine, so you do know how to use it. You're just being difficult, you brat. Me. Look, I'm not lying to you, and I don't appreciate your talking to me like that. I start to walk to the door to go to my side of the shop with my tea. Karen. Don't you dare walk away from me, you tramp! By this point, I've had enough. So, I carry on walking to my side when she grabs my arm, making me spill my tea over to both of us. Great! I will have to clean that up. I ignore her and keep walking and immediately buzz my supervisor up. Karen is still having a go at me and screaming about how I threw my tea over her. Luckily, the supervisor finally heard all of the commotion and came over. Supervisor, what's the problem here? Karen. I tried to get some help from this employee here, and she ignored me. When I went to ask her again, she threw her drink on me. Look, it's burned me. Proceeds to show supervisor where the tea landed on her arm. Me. What? That's not true. I was making myself a drink and explained to her that I couldn't make her drink for her. When I said that, she got all mad and grabbed me and making me spill my drink. Go watch the cameras. At this, Karen looks a little scared but still kept her story. Supervisor goes to look at the cameras and I go back behind the toll to serve other customers. Karen is stood quietly by the door. I'm surprised she didn't try and leave. Supervisor comes back out and proceeds to ban Karen for laying hands on me. She was fuming but ultimately left when S threatened to call the police for assault. I now have the satisfaction of seeing her face plastered on our wall of shame every time I work. Well, Karen gets what Karen deserves. The second story. Best servers I've gotten all day. After working in retail, there's nothing I hate more than rude customers. I cannot stand people most of the time because of it. A little background for this story. I get my tires changed over in the spring at Costco every year because I bought my tires there. They gave me a good discount. They just started allowing you to book appointments for tire changes online, so you won't have to show up and hope that they have time to change your tires. But by doing this, you can't really come in for walks-in at all, since they're typically all booked for the day. Now, to the story. It's a little before 2 p.m. and there's a long lineup for the automotive department. My car's tires are all changed and I'm just waiting to pick up my keys. There's a middle-aged couple in front of me complaining about the wait. All the typical. What is taking them so long? Why aren't there more people working? Why are they so bad at their jobs? It's not that hard. At one point, they even turned around me to ask me if it's usually this long of a wait. After listening to them for 10 minutes, it's finally their turn. And guess what? They didn't have an appointment. Shocker. And they drove from really far away, so they need to be squeezed in. After the lady at the desk repeatedly told them, "I'm sorry, we cannot possibly squeeze you in, we're completely full." The couple yelled a few choice words at the woman about how this is terrible customer service, yada yada yada, before moving along. I grabbed my keys from the girl, apologized that she had to deal with all of that, and walked out to my car. As I go to unlock my car, I see the annoying couple unloading their cart into their trunk. The couple then decided to just prop their cart up on the grass instead of walking the literally 10 meters to the cart return. Like it took more effort to prop it up on the grass than I would to walk to cart to the return. At this point, I'm so livid. First, they cuss out the poor desk girl, then they disrespect the cart people by not walking the short distance to the return. So, I walk over to their cart, glare at them, and return their cart without saying a single word. The couple then proceeds to pull up next to me in their car, and the guy yells out, "Hey, thanks! That's the best service we have gotten all day from you, crappy store. You guys really need to work on your customer service." I can't contain myself anymore, so I reply with, "I don't work here. You're just being a complete and utter buttholes. You treated the girl inside like crap, and now you're treating the cart return guys like crap because you're too lazy to walk 10 meters? And you're so ignorant, you didn't even notice I was the one standing behind you the whole time. You even complained to me. Maybe you weren't such an entitled butt, you'd get better service." The look on his and his wife's face was worth every second of that. Of course, he proceeded to tell me to just screw off, and I was just some dumb little girl who didn't know what the duck I was talking about. But I just flipped him off and got into my car. I can't yell at those butthole at work, so it felt amazing to do so as another customer. Well, I believe that anyone who has worked in retail or customer service can appreciate of what you did. Good job! On to the third story. Am I wearing an orange apron? I am disabled, overweight, and scarily ugly looking woman. I'm into wood art and generally doing DIY at my home in Scotland. I'm also a British Army veteran. Due to a back injury I sustained in the military, I cannot walk more than a few meters, so I get around on a mobility scooter, complete with Armed Forces veteran stickers on it, front and back. I'm proud to have served. My local-ish big box DIY store famously wears orange. I also believe that the company is owned by the same folk that owns a US big box store that famously wears orange as well. I go fairly often enough that I know where many things are. Dress in jeans, a floral print top, and a slip-on shoes. No orange anywhere. I was down the electrical supplies aisle, looking for just a right light switches and sockets for the remodel I'm doing in my long hallway at home. I pick one up every now and then to match with the color swatch I've brought with me to see how they look. Most of them I put directly back on the hook I picked it out from, and other goes in the basket on the footplate of my scooter. Also in the aisle is an old man. I'd say he's probably in his 80s. He's looking at the shelves but seemingly rather confused. Being nice, I ask him if he's okay. That is mistake number 1. He tells me he's looking for an adapter so he can plug in his electric toothbrush to charge. I know exactly what he needs and show him exactly where they are. Mistake number 2. He smiles and gives me a grateful thank you, and off he goes happily with his adapter in his hand to the tills. I feel good. I've helped someone out. So I go back to my own shopping, or at least I try to. Excuse me! I turn to see a young man with a handful of different switches. Oh, which one of these should I use for an internal switch for an external light? I look as I'm feeling chuffed with being able to help. Mistake number 3. I point to one that has a light on so you can see when the switch is on. Well, I'd probably use that one so you know if the light is on or off. You can't see the light itself. He smiles happily, dumps all other switches on a shelf and starts looking at the other items on the shelves. So I go back to my own shopping, or at least I try to. Again, enter Karen. K. Excuse me. Mistake number 4. Yes, I reply. K. Where do I find that stuff to put on the walls to fix a hole? Me. It's down the other end of the store, somewhere near the painting supplies, somewhere near the tills. Karen, yes, but where? And which shelf? Me, well, not sure, just take a look down there. A member of staff might be able to help better. Karen, I need you to show me. Me, well, sorry, just look down here. I'm about to pay for my shopping. Karen, but you need to show me. I don't know the right stuff. Me, look down there. There's a big banner by the right aisle. There may be someone there who works here. Karen, but you work here. It's your job to help customers. Show me where it is and what I need. Me, getting annoyed now. Well, it's not my job. I don't work here. Am I wearing an orange apron? Ask someone wearing an orange apron. They will help you. I start trying to roll my scooter forwards towards the tills. Karen, faster than a speeding bullet, steps directly in my path an inch or two in front of me. Now, these scooters are heavy and solid and won't take any damage from hitting an ankle. There was absolutely nothing I could do to stop it quickly enough. Karen shrieks. Karen, you hit my leg. You tried to run me down. Ow! And the tears flow. Her shriek alerted a couple of staff members who come running. She ran me down. I want a manager. I want the police. I want an ambulance. I want her fired and arrested. Then a mature-looking man in a suit with a large orange bat with his name and the word manager on it comes running up, also alerted by the shriek and shouting. He, M, asks what happened. Karen, your assistant in the lazy cripple chair. Yes, really. Tried to kill me. I want her arrested, fired, and I'll sue the store for my injuries. Manager, what assistant? This lady doesn't work here. Karen, oh yes she does, and she tried to run me down. My ankle is probably broken. Note that she's still standing, stomping around, shouting, and generally not behaving like someone with a broken ankle. Maybe a spoiled toddler though. Me, she asked me where something was, I told her where to look. She got demanding and behaving like a spoiled child, and then deliberately stepped in front of me when I went to leave. No way I could stop in time. Karen, liar! You do work here! I saw you helping 2 other people! Him! Pointing at the young man who stopped to watch the commotion. Me, well yes, I helped, out of the goodness of my heart because I'm a nice person. That doesn't mean I work here. Young man, well yeah, she was nice enough to help me. I asked her because I saw her helping an old bloke. I knew she didn't work here. Manager, yeah, she doesn't. Let's go back to the office to talk about this. Then we'll see what needs doing. Karen, you'll call the police and ambulance and fire her. Oh, shaking my head. So off we go to the office. Karen remembers her broken ankle and starts putting on a deliberate limp on the wrong leg, moaning all the way to the office about her broken ankle. In the office, the manager invites Karen to sit. I'm barely in the office as my scooter doesn't have the turning circle to get further in. Manager, well, let's start with the CCTV and see what happened. He turns the CCTV monitor around so we can all see it. He presses some buttons and runs the video back to where I ran into the aisle. I'm seen looking at the products, I'm seen talking to the old man, I'm seen talking to a shelf and passing an adapter to him. I'm seen talking to the young man and pointing at the product in his hands. I'm seen talking to Karen and pointing down the store. She is seen looking angry, with fists clenched talking at me. I'm seen moving off. She is seen rushing past me and deliberately stepping in my path where I obviously don't have time to stop. Well, just so you know, I'm a retired police officer. Do you really want the police and an ambulance? Your ankle is clearly not broken, and it's clear what really happened. Do you really want to get charged for wasting police time? They do that these days as the police are short of manpower and won't thank you for calling them for what is clearly your own fault. They may even charge you with hate crime with what I and my staff heard. Or will you just leave the store and not come back? Karen, but... Manager, really? Karen wilted. She stands and with no sign of a limp walks out with a member of staff escorting her meekly out. I was thanked for my patience and handed out a gift card for your trouble, and so you're not putting off using store name. I paid for my wares using the gift card which covered the whole cost, plus some more credit remaining on the card for my next visit. I may not help anyone else next time though. All I can say is thank God for the CCTV. but I'm sorry you had to deal with such a clown. The fourth story. I got fired, then a job offer, and now the old crazy lady is on the internet. This story takes place in a grocery store where I recently stopped to pick up a couple of last-minute items for dinner. Personally, I hate shopping, but rarely have to do it because my wife generally doesn't mind. We only needed a few items for dinner, so I agreed to stop by on the way home from work. As I'm browsing for the perfect rice to pair with the dinner, this older lady approaches me. Our conversation went something like this. Old lady, where is the soy sauce? I need the soy sauce. I looked around, and since we're the only two people in the aisle, I realized she was talking to me. I normally have no problem helping people, especially older people, but this lady used such a rude and entitled tone and I wasn't going to have it. Me, excuse me? Old lady, soy sauce, go get me a bottle. Me, oh I'm sorry ma'am, I don't work here. Old lady, yes you do, go get me a bottle of soy sauce. Me, I don't work here, I don't mind helping you out, but you need to ask nicely. Old lady, oh yes you do work here. Now, please go get me a bottle of soy sauce before I tell your manager. Me, well that was a little better, but I'm still not going to get that for you until you acknowledge that I don't work here and that I'm doing you a favor. Old lady, so you're not going to get it? At this point, I had picked out some rice that would work for dinner, and I put it in my shopping basket. I looked at my basket and then looked at her. At this point, I decided, screw this lady. Me, okay, I'll go get it. Just wait here, I'll be back. Old lady, God, I wasn't going to get it. Instead, I went to get the last two items I needed while wondering how long that lady would stand there. To my surprise, she really didn't stand there long. As I was finishing up the self-checkout, I noticed her at the customer service desk in front of the registers speaking with a manager. This lady was crazy and I didn't want any of the real employees to get into trouble when I left her hanging in the aisle, so I backed up my items and wandered over. I was a few steps away when she noticed me. Old lady, pointing at me, oh there he is, there's the rude employee that wouldn't help me. Manager, he doesn't work here. Old lady, yes he does, I want him fired. The manager and I looked at each other. We had a short talk right in front of her. I told him what happened and that I wanted him to know that he didn't have a rude employee. He was very apologetic to me, like it was somehow the company's fault a crazy lady shops there. And then, old lady to the manager, so, are you going to fire him? Manager, I don't know how I would do that. He doesn't work here. Me, well you probably just need to look at me and says, you're fired. Manager, but you don't work here. Me, yeah, but she doesn't know that. Manager looking at me, you're fired. Me, oh, but what about my kids? How am I going to feed the kids? Manager is like, WTF is going on? Manager, wait, you have kids? Me, yeah, I have kids. And now their dad doesn't have a job and that they won't be able to eat. Manager, I didn't know you had kids. Well, we do need help if you want to get started stocking shelves. Now I'm like, WTF is going on? Me, well just kidding, I don't have any kids. I was just putting on a shelf for her. Old lady speaking to me. See, that is what you got. After all this, lady still thought I worked there. Old lady, how's that make you feel? Maybe you'll try a little harder at your next job. Me, well I don't care, I don't even work here. I told you that back in the aisle. Manager, yeah, he doesn't work here. Old lady, yes, cause I just got him fired. Me, oh no you didn't. We just did that as a show for you because you're crazy. I work somewhere else, I've never worked here. Old lady, you don't work here? Me, finally you get it. Like I've said, I've been a long-time lurker, but I knew this was the definition of a story for you all. Me, as I go to leave, I'm going to put you on the internet. I'm guessing something about old people not understanding the internet, but she did not like that. Old lady, oh don't put me on the internet. Manager, oh don't put her on the internet. Me, you're crazy and I'm putting you on the internet. Oh man, you've done it and put her on the internet. You're gonna get fired for sure now. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.